Alrighty, everybody. What is going on, y'all? Welcome back here. Welcome back to another live. So, we are going to be doing a bit of live coverage here for today. Let me go ahead and make sure everything is rolling good before we get on into it. Make sure the stream health is actually okay because it's been messing up a couple times in the last week. So, I just want to make sure everything's actually working good, which it looks like it is. But anyways, y'all, welcome. Welcome. Let's see what we got here today. We have Calvin. We have Buddy's Garage, which is my dad. We have Roby. We have, let's see here, Abby. What's up, guys? Welcome, y'all. And, of course, welcome everybody else who is just now starting to join here. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing good. We're going to hop over here to the current radar view to start things off. We're going to go ahead and show you guys kind of where everything is at right now. Regarding this system. So, we do have ourselves a bit of snow that is starting to, or continuing, I should say, to kick off here across portions of like the Ohio Valley as well as the Mid-Atlantic. We're starting to get some of that snowfall, actually starting to work its way over here into portions of like Virginia overall. So, you guys can see the radar here. At the current frame that we're at right now, if I was to go ahead and freeze this on the last frame, you can see right now we're snowing here pretty much across northern Kentucky, portions of West Virginia. Like I said, starting to work its way through portions of Virginia here as well. And it looks like we might even be having a little bit of like freezing rain in some of the upper elevations of eastern Tennessee. So we do got that going on here as well. What's up, Tabletop? Let's see here. Howdy, Andrew. Good to watch you live without worrying about a severe storm risk. Yeah, good to see you, dude. You guys got hit pretty good, didn't you? How much snow did you get, Tabletop? I know you're out there in Wilmington. I remember you were, I remember that you were involved in that on that big storm. Just I wasn't sure exactly how much you guys got. I saw some local reports, I believe, of like 9 inches or so. So you'll have to let me know how much you got out of that. But yeah, so like I said, we do have a bit of stuff going on here now. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring up the, let's actually pull up the map here, or the city name, so we can actually kind of see where we're looking at here. So we'll go ahead and turn on the major cities as well, so we can kind of see everything. So, but yeah, so it is snowing out by Louisville, areas out there by like Lexington here in northern Kentucky, Frankfort as well. Let's see here, Maysville, Grayson, Kentucky. Seems like southeastern Kentucky right now is seeing a little bit of rain out by like Pikeville. Let's see here, Paintsville, Hazard, London. Some of those regions out there, it's mostly rain to the south here because we do have a little bit of a warmer layer in the lower atmosphere, in which, towards the surface, it actually is a little bit above freezing. So, anyways, you got about 6 inches. Gotcha. See, about 45 minutes north, got 12. That's crazy. That is actually pretty wild. I mean, that's a pretty good amount of snow. I mean, it's not, a whole bunch of snow here. Speaking of snow reports, we do got some reports to share with you guys here as of now. I thought that was 11 inches for a second. I'm like, there's no way they got that. But no, it's 1.1 out by Hurricane, West Virginia. I actually remember traveling through Hurricane, West Virginia. Whenever I used to go to visit from Virginia to Kentucky, I used to go through there. But yeah, Hurricane, West Virginia got about 1 inch. We do have 4.5 inches out by Glenwood, West Virginia. Let's see here. Kenna, about 3.9 inches. And now we move into southern Ohio, out there by Stockdale, 4.5. 5 inches by Wheelersburg, Ohio. Let's see here. Also, Rio Grande, we have 3 inches reported. So then we switch our way over here to Kentucky. I'm actually going to hop radars over here by Louisville to look at these current reports. So up in northern Kentucky, out there by Crittenden, is that how you say that? 3.5 inches out there. Out by Walton, 4 inches. What is this here? Carrollton, Kentucky, 2.5 inches here also. Let's see here. Calvin said, how did a storm northeast of Houston turn tornadic if there is less wind shear and not much instability? I mean, it can happen. Sometimes the environment can actually become a little bit different than what models pick up on. So, I mean, locally, it could have been in a better tornadic environment that models can't really pick up on. If we actually hop, not over there, if we actually hop over to the models here, we were expecting some storms to pop off, and what you can see here on the current radar, from the past, we did have some storms that did pop off. Now, if we were to overlay like the instability and stuff, we're going to add model guidance here. So let's turn on our instability marker. We'll do mixed layer cape. This is our fuel in the atmosphere. I mean, you can see we have a little bit of fuel going on. I mean, not a whole lot. I mean, definitely not really, a super crazy amount of instability, but there's a little bit for Eastern Texas. Now, looking at kinematics, if we were to bring up our winds here, we'll pull up our lower level wind shear at first. If we look at that, so this is 850 millibar height, which is like, I think it's like 4,000 feet up or so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's somewhere around there. It's not super high up, but we do have a little bit of a lower level jet of about 20 knots, which really isn't much. I mean, the environment, yeah, I could see how it produced it, but it's pretty rare. It's pretty uncommon that it did. I mean, because there is little amounts of instability and there's a little bit of wind shear. I mean, it just so happened to happen. I mean, it's certainly possible, but it generally speaking today, it's not expected to happen. It was just kind of a bad scenario there, kind of like a really rare scenario per se. Is it muted for anyone else? Not on my end. Looks pretty good. But anyways, hopping back to current radar view, like I mentioned, right now we do have a pretty good amount of snowfall still ongoing up here in northern Kentucky. It looks like out there by Louisville, we do have some pretty heavy snow bands rolling through, so we got to look out for that. I am going to hop over to Virginia for a moment. We're going to hop over to the D.C. area. It looks like we have a little bit of showers kind of going on here. Looks like the Blue Ridge out there by, let's see here, east of Harrisonburg. Looks like we do have a little bit of snowfall that is going on in those mountaintops. Because obviously it's a bit cooler. The air pressure is lower. The higher you go up in those elevations there on the mountains. I think these mountains, because I used to live out here, I think they're like 4,000 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. I think they're like 4,000 feet above sea level. I'm pretty sure. At least one of the ones I remember, I thought it was 4,000 feet. Which, obviously up there, it's going to be a bit cooler and and stuff like that. Which is, allowing that precipitation to turn back into snowfall or remain snowfall. And then, of course, the lower levels, you can see it looks like it's probably raining there. So, anyways. But yeah, let's hop over to future radar here. I do want to bring y'all back up here. So this was the current radar. Like I said, we even have a bit of rain going on, in the south here, like areas of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, bits of northern Georgia, eastern Tennessee. Once again, some of those upper elevations could be seeing maybe a little bit of freezing rain, in those upper elevations, like we mentioned, where it's a little bit cooler, while the lower atmosphere is still pretty warm. Whenever it falls here on the surface, it's still freezing in those upper elevations, allowing it to freeze and possibly a little bit of freezing rain. So it is possible. But let's move into the models. I'm going to bring up the HRRR. We'll pull up the latest run we got. This is the 22 UTC. It's almost completely done rendering. So let's go ahead and bring up our precipitation type reflectivity here. So this is the future. By the way, you guys can kind of see the time in the bottom left here. See above Super Chatter, it says 5 p.m. here. So that's the time that we're looking at in Eastern time. So yeah, the models did pick up on a little bit of freezing rain here. Bits of that snow going through Kentucky. So this is for 8 p.m. here. Still snowing likely in portions of northern central Kentucky. Northeastern Kentucky, going through West Virginia here, likely snowing a pretty good amount. Maybe a little bit out there by the Blue Ridge Mountains, mostly just west for the most part. Southwest Virginia out by like the Appalachian Plateau. It looks like to be mostly rain. It seems like it's a little bit too warm for snow. And then, of course, as we work our way further down in time, here to midnight tonight, still some snow showers. Seems like it breaks up a little bit here. Let's see also portions of like southern West Virginia, northern Virginia, maybe seeing a little bit of wintry mix between maybe some sleet, maybe some freezing rain, and snowfall and stuff like that. So, I mean, likely seeing a little bit. Then, of course, we work our way over here into about 4 a.m. For the most part, it clears up. Still lingering snow showers for East Kentucky, southern West Virginia. Maybe a couple over by like Delaware. A few snow showers are possible. Meanwhile, the south still seeing a pretty good amount worth of rainfall that's ongoing. And then everything pretty much just should be snow showers throughout tomorrow morning here. Free Thinking coming in with the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it, my friend. I don't know where to put my phone. Where did I put? Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. I was gonna say, I honestly feel really bad because in last live stream, Kathleen donated $15. If Kathleen, if you're here right now, thank you so much. I got that as soon as I ended. For some reason, it was a little bit late. But anyways, free thinking, thank you so much for the 5. Saying, hey Andrew, how's it looking for your area? Let me pull this up real quickly. Thank you so much for the 5. I really, really appreciate that. So if I was to pull up your area, you, my friend, are out here in Georgia. So you're not. I knew that. You're not going to be seeing any winter weather, any severe weather, anything like that. You will, however, be seeing a bit of rain. If I was to bring the 18 UTC run back, so, kind of going on here throughout this evening, we are going to be seeing a bit of rain showers, which could eventually turn into just some normal rain throughout pretty much the morning for tomorrow, solid rain. And all this should be out in the region by the evening tomorrow. So we will be getting a little bit of rainfall. HRRR shows maybe a few snow showers. I wouldn't really count on that, honestly. I doubt it would. I think the confidence would be pretty low for the snow showers. But anyways, but it does show a little bit of, obviously, of some rain coming through here. Let's pull up the accumulations. I'm curious to see. There's so much stuff here. I always get lost. Here we go. Total rain. There we go. That's what we want to look for. So according to HRRR, we could pick up maybe a couple tenths of an inch to maybe a half inch of rainfall. You see possibly an inch or so up by like the Carolinas or whatnot. But yeah, anyways, so a little bit of rain, maybe about a half inch possible. That's HRRR. Let's try like global models. Like here's the American GFS. Yeah, pretty much showing maybe a couple tenths of an inch, maybe nearly half inch from the GFS as well. And then lastly, we'll pull up Euro here. We'll take a peek at it. Euro shows maybe a little more, but yeah, about a half inch or so. So that's a pretty good likelihood. You'll probably be seeing maybe about a half of an inch worth of rainfall out there, free thinking. But anyways, but like I mentioned, nothing really crazy going on here. I'll pull up those wind gusts too for everybody. Kind of see where the models stand here with the winds. So we'll do accumulated max wind gusts. I don't think it's going to be that windy with this system, which is good. Yeah, so as the system goes through, yeah, maybe some gusts upwards of 20 miles an hour, which really isn't much. What's going on in Florida, though? What the heck? Are we getting another wind event in Florida? This is looking like on Thursday afternoon. Apparently Central Florida could see maybe 30 mile an hour wind gusts or so. What? Let me pull up GFS on that. Let's see how they compare. That's crazy, though. Yeah, GFS doesn't hardly show anything. Maybe upper 20s. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked there. Let's see here. Sorry, Rose. So my local weather station saw a mixture for tomorrow and Thursday, probably 3. What do I think for Virginia Beach? Good question. Sorry about that. Let me pull it up real quickly. Free thinking, I'll get to you back in 1 second. Hold on a minute. I'm getting a little bit caught behind here. So if we were to bring up the precip type reflectivity here, we'll bring up our HRRR again for you. So Virginia Beach, I did see some support of maybe a little bit of snow out there. Yeah, so you can kind of see it does look like Virginia Beach might be dealing with a little bit of snow. This is the HRRR, by the way, which this kind of shows it for the evening of Wednesday. So evening of Wednesday, and should be out pretty much by the morning of Thursday. So possibly, but let me compare this with another model. It's good to obviously compare these models. We'll bring up the RRFS model here. We'll hop back to 18 UTC as well. Yeah, so I mean, even the RRFS shows a little bit of snow out here. Seems like the HRRR is a bit more significant per se. But yeah, definitely we'll be seeing a little bit. Now, accumulations will probably be fairly light. I believe most of the models did suggest between like maybe 1 and 3 inches worth of snowfall. Here, let's pull up that 10-to-1 ratio because it's going to be kind of a wet snow. It's not going to be anything super crazy. So according to the RRFS, maybe about an inch or so possible. Meanwhile, comparing with the HRRR, with the snow totals and stuff like that, HRRR wants a little bit more, actually, kind of more like maybe 2 to 4 locally higher amounts possible. So obviously a little bit of disagreement. Here's another model. This is the FV3 model. This one barely shows much of anything, honestly. Here, let me try a different model here. We'll do the main globals. They're not really good for resolution per se, but they're good for, just another model to look at here for that. So, anyways, all right, let's pull up global GFS. So yeah, GFS shows maybe a little bit, and then lastly, comparing to the euro. Let's see here, about an inch or so. Honestly, I'd say probably between 1 and 2 inches would be a good bet. With this system, just a little bit more being possible. Like I said, there's obviously a bit of disagreement here going on. So, anyways, all right. Do I think Wilmington area could get freezing rain tomorrow night? I don't think the models really show that. Let me double check. So here's HRRR again. We'll remove that. We'll go back here. Pull up our precip type. It doesn't look like much. It looks like it's mostly just going to be rain. There could be maybe a little bit of freezing rain on the end of that system, but it wouldn't be enough to really cause any significant problems. It only seems like maybe for an hour or so, if that. So, anyways. All right. Free thing says it won't freeze, will it? Well, let me look. Let's see here. We'll pull up the surface. We'll do 2-meter temperature. Actually, we're gonna load my special map I created. I created the neon. The neon look. I love this look, by the way. And we'll do 32 marker. We'll turn it white so you can kind of see where that freezing point is per se. Anyway, so here's HRRR. So it doesn't look like it's going to freeze, but it'll be kind of mid-30s here for Thursday morning from what it looks like. With all this rain and stuff going by, yeah. If I overlay the rain here, we'll do precip type reflectivity on top of those temperatures. So as the rain does come through, it'll be all above freezing still, for the most part. And then on the back end, there could be maybe, not really freezing temps, but maybe like mid-30s per se. Let me do another comparison here of the RRFS model. Good to get, once again, good for more opinions here. Yeah, so it seems like the RRFS is pretty much on sync with the HRRR, maybe like mid-upper 30s being possible. So yeah, it really doesn't seem like we're going to have super crazy, super low temperatures with this. What's up, Rochi? Good to see you. Saying, hey, Andrew, hope all is well. Would it be possible to discuss Friday's Clipper system coming to the Mid-Atlantic? Or am I waiting for more model data to come through? Another one? What? What, this Friday? Here, let me pull up long range. I'm curious. Are you serious? Is there really another one? I was literally just keeping my focus on this system here. But here, let's pull up. Shoot, what am I gonna do here? Pull up the precip type. Sometimes my mind just blanks for a moment. All right, so let's do this. We'll do a side panel. That's a new one. A side panel view of both the American GFS on the left panel and the European ECMWF on the right panel here. So let's do that. All right, so we've got a side-by-side comparison. Both 18 UTC. Actually, sorry, that's GFS. Let's move this over to Euro. I thought they looked a little oddly familiar. There we go. Okay. So yeah, Euro on the right, GFS on the left here, okay? So, you said another Clipper system. Oh, you're talking about this one. Okay, yeah, we actually mentioned this yesterday. Yeah, so there could be even some more snow diving down, from the Great Lakes, possibly to the Mid-Atlantic Northeast here. But there's two different bits of agreement. Here's for Saturday morning. Okay, this is late Friday, early Saturday, right? So the GFS, obviously on the left here, doesn't really show that much snowfall, right? And then you got the European ECMWF on the right that obviously shows a lot more snowfall. So there's obviously a bit of disagreement here. So it's like, which model do you go off of? Yeah, there obviously is a bit of disagreement. We need to wait and see. But yeah, also the Euro does show a lot more snow involved than the GFS model. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of disagreement here. Let's see, this is 60 hours out or so. Let's see, we actually might have a little bit of short-range model support here. Here, let's reset this real fast. I think the NAM the godforsaken NAM model, the 3 kilometer model. This one is something else, man. I tell you. All right, so let's do this. We'll pull it up anyways, just to look at. I mean, like I said, even though models have bad reps, it's still good to look at all model support here. Okay, so here's the thing. NAM is pretty decent at like winter weather and stuff sometimes. Where the NAM model really lacks is severe weather and tropical weather. So it's honestly kind of the best for winter weather and such. But anyway, so yeah, here's the NAM. I mean, it just shows kind of like 2 waves coming down. So the first wave coming down here for pretty much early Thursday across some of the northwestern Great Lakes. Goes over like Michigan per se. And then we have that second burst come through probably sometime on Friday. Friday. Let's try the RRFS. That actually goes out a bit farther. I think the RRFS will probably be a good model to do that with. So let's try it now. We'll go back to 18 UTC. There you go. So, ooh, look at that. Actually, the RRFS does have a... Dang, that thing comes flying down. You see that? I mean, the trajectory of that snow is really different. I mean, like a lot of snowstorms, they like to go this way, right? You know, they like to really go to the east, but or east-northeast. But this thing's coming down from the southeast here, probably ahead of that cold air mass that's going to be yet again overtaking the northeast, like we've been mentioning here the last couple days or so. You know, another cool down and such. So, anyways, but yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, there is obviously a bit of disagreement. I'm going to wait till we get more, short range model support. Right now we're in the mid range, so once we start getting like HRRR really getting involved for several runs, and obviously the more runs of the RRFS here, then we'll talk more about it. But I mean, hey, it could be a decent little one. We'll have to see. All right, let's see here. What's up, Carrot? Good to see ya. Hope you're doing well. What's up, Free Thinking? Or, sorry. I know you've been here for a minute. I don't know why I said what's up. Free Thinking said thank you. You're very welcome, my friend. I don't know what's going on with my head, man, I tell you. There's something wrong, y'all. Oh, no. I don't know what's going on with me. Anyways, but yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that Clipper system, too. So, obviously, we have this one going by now. And then in the future, we'll have another, likely another one come down from the north here. Now, for our friends out west, I think it's pretty quiet. Really not a whole lot. Looks like maybe a little bit of rain for the Pacific Southwest. I don't really think anyone calls it the Pacific Southwest, but except for me. But anyways, the Southwest U.S., yeah, Thursday going in Friday, we might have a little bit of rain for like California, maybe like southern Nevada, maybe a little bit of Arizona. Las Vegas might even see some rain, which from what I know, it's pretty rare for Las Vegas to get rain. I mean, it's not as common for us here in the East Coast. That's why when you look at a satellite map and you see how the eastern and the central country is like green, and then you see the west and it's just all dead. Because a lot of it's because of moisture. You know, they don't get much moisture out there. A lot of deserts out west. But yeah, the central eastern parts of the country is usually more wet and vegetation filled. Unless you're in Kansas, then there's just nothing there. Same thing with parts of Oklahoma. Carrot says, interesting mini supercell north of Houston, by the way. Is there another one? Here, let's hop over to radar. We'll pull it up on our GR2. I by the way, I'm actually making a video comparing different weather apps that I've used. So stay tuned for that. I'm still in the works here. You said it was north of Houston? So it's... Oh, I don't know what I did there. Here, let's bring back up reflectivity. Turn off precip type. All right, so here's Houston right here. Oh, you know what? I see that, actually. You're right. Yeah, it looks like we have a little bit of a couplet over here north of Humble. West of Kingwood. It's not warned or anything. Obviously no debris signature, but... I mean, it's pretty broad. It needs to tighten up a bit if it wants to do anything, but... You know, given that lower level kinematics, so there's a little bit of wind shear, I don't think it would probably tighten up too much. Although, I mean, we did have that tornado warning earlier today. It's hard to tell. Here, let me pull up meso analysis. I'm curious I think this program has mesoanalysis. Still kind of getting used to some of this, you know. Where is meso? Do we not have it on this program? I know we have like MRMS and stuff. Oh, okay. Well, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull up the main mesoanalysis page here. Bring this up. Here we go. All right, here's our mesoanalysis. We'll go ahead and bring y'all back over here to, not that panel. Oh, not that panel. There we go. Took 3 times. Now we can kind of see what's going on down here. All right, so we obviously have this front here. It's kind of a weak front. There's not going to be a lot of forcing, I believe. Let's see here. All right, so we have about 700 MLK. That's not too bad, honestly. I mean, it's obviously not a lot. Okay, this part in like way far eastern Texas. Yeah, like Louisiana has like no instability. Seems like it's out by the Houston area. We got a little bit of fuel, a little bit of instability out here. Let's try SKU-T chart. Let's see what we're looking at. So a little bit of veering. If you look in the lower profiles, I know it's kind of hard to see on the screen here. I apologize. So in the lower atmosphere, here's the surface. Our winds are going this way to the northeast, right? You go up in altitude, winds are actually shifting from the west to the east. So there's a bit of veering going on. So there's a little bit of something happening. Let's do 850 millibar analysis. So that's about easterlies or winds going east at about 15, 20 knots, which is fairly weak, honestly. Mid-level flow, 500 millibar, which is like 20,000 feet up, is about 35 knots. 35 knots going from west to east flow. Let's see here. Sorry, I got a phone call. I had to leave. No, you're good. Don't worry about it, Rose. Let's see. I'm back now. Do I use Radar Omega? Nah. Radar Omega's gone downhill so much. It's so bloated anymore. Actually, like I said, I'm making a video actually going over a bunch of different radar softwares that I've used, like 10 different programs. I'm doing like a tier list, which I'll have that up probably in the next like day or two. But I was actually talking about Radar Omega. It went downhill so much. It's really bloated and slow. It's not my computer. I have a really powerful computer. It's just on everything I've used it on. It's just been really slow, kind of clanky. I mean, it's all right. But I actually use other programs. Like WeatherWise is a newer one, which I've been using a lot. This is this one right here. Pretty solid. Pretty good. I like this one. Anyways. All right, well, let's hop back over here. So, like I said, I mean, bottom line, there is instability. There's fuel in the atmosphere, you know, for storms to fire. So it's there. Looking at the SKU-T, I mean, you can see there's instability right there. You know, pretty good moisture content pretty evenly throughout the lower to mid atmosphere here. And we do have a little bit of veering wind shear. You know, the winds are changing directions and speed with altitude. So, you know, right on the surface, winds are going pretty much northeast. You go up a little bit, they change to the northeast. So that's where your spin's coming from. You know, that's where you're having that, you know, that rotation starting to develop. Which I'm honestly surprised they don't even add a little 2% tornado risk out here. I think it would probably be needed. I mean, especially given like what we saw earlier, and kind of a little bit of a couplet that we're looking at now. I think it's needed because, you know, obviously this decaying, or I wouldn't really call it decaying, but weak cold front that's pushing through this area isn't very strong. So there's not a lot of vertical uplift. There's not a lot of vertical winds. You know, a lot of strong, you know, winds going from down or going down to up. It doesn't have as much lift, giving that it's a fairly weak front over here. With that being said, also, there is a little bit of instability. There is a little bit of wind shear in place, but probably just enough maybe for weak tornadic activity, which, like I said, I mean, I think earlier from some of the radar scans, we were actually talking to somebody in the Discord earlier. If you're here, let me know. You know, we were looking at the radar scans, and it looked like there was actually a tornado that did touch down over there in East Texas earlier. So the environment's there. I mean, it's possible. I wonder if there's any cameras near it. Texas has a terrible camera network. I would have already been looking at it if there was. But anyways, so yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, we'll see what's going on. I do want to switch meso analysis up here to the east a little bit more. Here, let's go over by this winter weather. Yeah, SQTs are really important to look here as well. So yeah, everything seems to be all below freezing. This is up here in northern Kentucky where they're actually seeing a bit of snow right now. Here, let me load up my pen so I can draw on the screen and such, which whenever that wants to load. There we go. All right, perfect. So, yeah, so you can see right here, here's our freezing point, right? So, that's there. Here is our SQT chart. So the x-axis here shows you the temperature, right? And then you got your y-axis that goes up. So this is altitude, right? So at the bottom of the graph, this is, altitude. So at the bottom, that's the ground. That's where we're at. And then you go up in the graph, that goes up in altitude, right? And then, of course, you got your temperature markers. But anyways, so with that being said, there's your freezing point. And this red line that you see right here, this is your temperature line. So this is showing us the temperatures throughout the atmosphere, not necessarily just on the ground, but also way up in the air, going all the way up. And there, once again, there's your freezing point there where I highlighted also in red. So everything over here is below freezing. All of the temperatures from the ground to the upper atmosphere is all below freezing. So that's keeping it snow. It's keeping it snow. It's very important. You go down south a bit. Let's go southeast Kentucky. Up in some of these upper elevations, we're kind of riding that freezing line right there. Maybe even slightly, actually, you know what? Yeah, slightly above freezing. You can see there's your freezing line right here. Maybe I should use a different color. We'll use blue. Why not? So there's your freezing point right there, right? It's kind of hard to see, but all of this is all below freezing. There's a little spot right there that's above freezing. So that right there is, I don't know if you guys can hear, there's a car alarm going on. Oh, let's stop. Anyways, but yeah, you can see there's a little bit of above freezing temps there. So anyways, but yeah, the further you go south, the warmer that layer is, which you can see a pretty big little area here of above freezing temps. Anyways, so that's why they're getting rain, is because everything's melting by the time it gets down there. So, let's see, how cold is it in Florida, by the way? It's actually a little bit warmer. It's been really cold here at night. Like I said, the other night, my mesonet I have here reported 24.3 degrees over here in Lakeland, Central Florida. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. Which I have my headquarters right here. I don't know if you guys can see. That's where we're at, roughly. But yeah, that's, yeah, definitely for this area where I'm at. Literally, I'm on the red dot there. That's where I'm at. It's crazy. Like it got that cold, which is wild. Anyways, let's pull up our we'll pull up the RTMA analysis. We'll look at the current temps. I kind of show you all what everything looks like right now. Here, I'll move this thing over here. So at the moment, yeah, we're kind of in the mid 50s. Southern Florida's in maybe the mid 60s, lower mid 60s. How about like Miami and such? It got pretty chilly. Yeah, last night we did break freezing again, but it wasn't as cold as the night before, But if we look up north, here, I'll even pull up the here we go, those temps again. Yeah, there you go. So there's current temps. So you can see the freezing point right now is like right here. So it does go through like portions of Kentucky, bits of the the Smoky Mountains, Rocky Mountains, or not Rocky. Shoot, that's out west. The Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains here. Some of the Blue Ridge too, below freezing, and of course bits and pieces. Mostly of West North Carolina there. Yeah, Eastern, it gets a little bit chillier, but not as cold. Anyways. Let's see here. That's cool. I got family in Lakeland. Oh, wow, really? See, I lived there a couple of years. Gotcha. Yeah, I've lived down here for, 2 years now? I lived in Auburndale, if you know where that's at. It's just east of Lakeland. I lived there for a little bit. And then I moved from Auburndale to Lakeland, which I live in Lakeland now. But I've been in Florida, what was it, a little over 3 years now, I think? Almost 3 years now. something like that. I've lost track at this point. Um, but anyways, but yeah, let's hop back over the radar, y'all. Let's take a look back at that storm. So, ooh, yeah. So you can see out there by like Cold Spring. It's actually another one, another little couplet there. We had the one north of Humble, you could see. So that was the one we were just looking at. And then you go up a little bit, out by Cold Spring. That looks like another little couplet. Yeah, we gotta keep a close eye on there. Let's see, pretty cool. Born and raised in Titusville on the East Coast. Where's Titusville at? That sounds familiar, but I can't point it out on the map. Here, let's see. Oh, okay. That's out by the Space Coast. Gotcha. That's out near that's like south of Daytona area. That's right near Cape Canaveral. I knew it sounded familiar. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. I'm sure you probably, grew up and saw a bunch of rocket launches out there. I bet that was pretty cool. I mean, you're pretty close to where you probably could even hear them launch. Like I'm far enough away where you can't hear them, but you can see them in the distance launch. Like you can see them, I'm pretty sure, all the way in Tampa, probably. I'm pretty sure you can see them out in Tampa launch. I mean, they're small, but you can see them, which is pretty cool. Not really the rocket themselves over here. You can see the flame coming out the rocket, but you can't really see the rocket itself. I'm sure if you had like a powerful enough like telescope or something, you probably could see it pretty well. But anyways, the best was night launch. Oh, I bet. Yeah, I was actually wanting to go. My mom has been trying to talk me into going, which I think I really want to. Personally, I really do want to go. But actually going over there to Cape Canaveral for the upcoming Artemis launch, I kind of want to see that up close. That'd be a pretty cool one to see here. Anyways, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on this storm. By the way, y'all, like I said, there's a little bit of rotation here. We'll have to see what goes on. Let's see here. Turns the night completely day and blue sky. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, huh? Yeah, I'm sure it's a whole different story out there. I'd love to get a little bit closer to all that, for sure. Hey, but that's pretty cool though. All right, let's hop back over to Kentucky for a moment. See what we got going on out here. We'll pull back up our precip type. So it's still snowing. It looks like Louisville's starting to slow down a little bit. We had a band going over there a little bit ago. Looks like a lot of broken showers up in North Kentucky. Still coming down pretty good for like the north central side of Kentucky here. This is out by like Shepherdsville. Very familiar. I actually lived out here as well. Out by LaGrange is where I used to live over here. I lived there for almost a year. Not too much. I grew up in Northern Virginia, up in Prince William County. I lived there for a long time. And then I moved here to... I lived there for 20 years in Northern Virginia. Then I moved to Virginia, or... I lived in Northern Virginia. Then I moved to Kentucky for about 8 months or so. Then I moved to Florida, and I've been here for a couple of years. I actually had family that lived down here, and I wanted to be a little bit close. Like my brother, he lived down here, and I moved down here as well. But anyways. But yeah, we got some pretty good amounts of snow there. We do have reports, like I said, for portions of West Virginia, like western West Virginia. We have a good 5-inch reports coming through in some areas. Looks like this area, the tri-state between southern Ohio, northeast Kentucky, and south. Actually, western West Virginia. Looks like right there on the state border there. We got a couple of inches. I'd actually love to go visit this point right here, because then you could like take a step, you'd be in Ohio, or hold on a minute, how's that work? Yeah, you take a step, you'd be in Ohio. You go down one, you'd be in West Virginia, and then you go over here, you'd be in Kentucky. That'd be a pretty cool place to visit. Anyways, Rose says, will I be doing another live feed on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday? One of those days. Probably. Yeah, knowing me, I mean, I like to go live at least for updates every day if I can. Obviously, there's days I don't go live. Especially lately, I wanted to take at least a day off or so because of all the coverage we've been doing with those 2 big winter storms that we got pretty much back to back. That was pretty crazy. But but I probably will. Yeah, because we do have that second clipper system we were actually watching. Yeah, that one will roll through, and we'll probably need to do some updates and coverage on that. Probably, like I said, I actually wanted to do a bit of coverage with this one, so that's why we're here now. Just kind of hanging out, talking about what's going on right now. We got a little bit of stuff happening, but yeah, I mean, I probably will. I probably will. All right, so let's see. Hopping back over to Louisville. Like I said, we have a little bit of snow going on out here. Let's see. Carrot says, "Glad Kentucky is doing well with snow. My family is out there loving it." Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I have a lot of family in Louisville. I do. They got a little bit. I mean, like I said, this system's not bringing like an astronomical amount of snowfall, but it's bringing enough to cause problems, basically. Enough. I think we do have some advisories in effect here. Let's actually hop over to that real quick. We actually didn't look at this yet. So yeah, you can see we do have northern Kentucky here. So that includes like Louisville, LaGrange, Lexington, Maysville. I think that was that Ohio. No, that's Kentucky. Okay. Yeah, so we do have a lot of winter weather advisories in effect. Little bits of southern Ohio, east of Cincinnati, like Portsmouth area. Yeah, that's in Ohio. Athens, and then of course they go into West Virginia here as well. Obviously, the totals range differently on each one. Like, we'll look at the one from Louisville. Snow accumulations up to an inch. Ice accumulations around a light glaze. I mean, it's possible we could get a little bit of sleet out there. And then you got like central West Virginia, 1 to 3 inches, locally higher amounts possible. You go over to this one here. This one's up to 2 inches. I mean, it ranges. It does. 1 to 3 inches. But yeah, most of these totals are basically like 1 to 3 inches. So, anyways. Rose says, let's see, I'm working here from home. I gotta get some stuff up online. I will come back and watch the rest of this video later. You're the best. Well, thank you, Rose. Right back at you. You're the best as well. I appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, I mean, we don't have any winter storm warnings or anything like that on it. I mean, oh, what's going on in Los Angeles area? Wind advisories. Let's see, 25 to 35 mile an hour wind gusts up to 50 expected. What the heck is going on out here? Here, let's hop over here real quickly. We'll go to hop back to the models. I do want to actually look. Do we have like a low or something impacting out here? Let me grab our sea level pressure line here. Load that up. Yeah, because apparently we got some strong winds. There's got to be something going on here. Here. We'll do surface. Accumulated max wind gusts. There we go. There we go. Sorry for the flashing lights, y'all. Yeah, it really seems like that's for the upper elevations, though. That's why, like, Los Angeles is not included. I mean, Los Angeles is lower elevations, you can see. I mean, there's obviously some hills and stuff in LA, but it's really for those upper elevations is where we have those strong winds to be expected out there. Wow, especially to the south here. The RRFS model here shows like 40, 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts out here. Yeah, well, I think a lot of it has to do with the the elevation difference there. Here, I'm curious. Let me bring up our like 850 millibar winds. We'll do 850 here. Let's see what those are at. Those are probably pretty high. If it'll even load. Maybe. There we go. Yeah. So we got a bit of southwesterly winds. Looks like they're actually shifting to the northwest here. Yeah, so right now they're kind of westerly, but they're going to start changing to the northwest. Yeah, I mean, definitely a decent little amount of wind there. Here, let's go back to surface. We'll do 10-meter winds. Oh, I just want to check out in the plains here, see how the winds are doing over here too. Give it a second to load here. There we go. It's crazy just to see how everything flows, you know? And you can really see, like, some points in where, like, elevations really play a role. Like, you can see some of the elevations here in the high-res data. It's pretty crazy. You just see how everything flows. And you can just really see how complex everything is, you know? And this is high-res data, but this is not nearly as high resolution as like real life, obviously. You know, real life is a 1-to-1 scale, obviously. But, yeah, we do have a little bit of cold air coming down yet again. Here, let's actually switch over to that real quickly. We'll pull up our 2-meter temperature anomaly. That's basically 6 feet in the air, which is basically surface temperature. Anyways, but yeah, we are supposed to get some cold air coming down yet again. Yeah, you can see it up there. This is the short range model data. We're gonna have to pull out the long range. We'll pull up the GFS here. Yep, so there it is. So that's gonna really, really cool down in the northeast again. Maybe some areas 30, maybe even 40 degrees below normal. Not, by the way, this is not your actual temp. This is just comparing to normal conditions. It's 40 degrees below normal. Like if we were to bring up the actual temp though, you see actual temperature is still like -10 to -20 from the GFS, which is 39 degrees below normal. So normal would be like what? 19 Fahrenheit? Yeah, 19 degrees or so. If I can even math right. Yeah, I mean, Euro is on point as well. Maybe it's slightly warmer than what GFS shows. Like the Euro here shows like more like -10s, and then you have the GFS, or did I say GFS? This is the Euro showing like more like -10s. Some local spots maybe like towards -20, and then you got like the GFS, which shows like -20 in some spots. So bit cooler per se. But yeah, I mean, after that, I don't want to go too far into models. Obviously, the further you go down, the more inaccuracy there is. But yeah, but it looks like the South will start warming up quite a bit. It looks like Texas. Looks like Texas and the Central Plains actually start warming up quite a bit. You can see here, this is 129 hours. I mean, this is pretty far per se. I mean, this is what? For February 8th on Sunday. I mean, the temperature is all the way up to, what is it? Montana, show like 60 degrees maybe from the Euro, which is like 39 degrees above normal. But anyways, there's that. Anyways. But, all right, everybody. Well, like I said, just want to hop on here for a little bit, do a little bit of an update here on the winter weather situation. So, I'm probably going to roll off for now. I'm probably going to work on that video I was actually talking about. So, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have it up tonight. I think I'll probably pull it up tomorrow for you guys with that next video. So, I do hope to see you guys then. But yeah, for now, I think I'm going to roll off here. Going to call it a stream. We'll be back here later tomorrow for another live for you guys. Or maybe even tonight. If I decide that I want to go live, then just stay tuned for that. Just keep notifications on that way. If I do go live, then you'll be notified and stuff like that. But alrighty, everybody. Well, thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. You guys take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And we'll see you guys here in the next one. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. See y'all later on. Peace out, my friends. See ya in the next one.